still got some time. We're just starting to get some of the advanced stuff from the storm. I gotta be honest, it's changed track enough. I don't think we're gonna get much more than kind of, you know, we'll get rain, but I don't think we're gonna have destructive force winds here. You know, that's still to be seen. We'll wait and see what happens when the thing's passing alongside us here. But that's not supposed to be till the morning or the early morning hours when it starts to really get to us. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on it. This is a problem. That poly tape doesn't like to stay wound up. So I need a better system. I'm gonna try using one of these simple wheels. I mean, the poly tape is not my final solution for what I'd like to be able to do for the farm. But it's a great place to be right now. It's working. I just have to have a better way to roll it up and store it. So I just grabbed one of these. You can get them in almost any hardware store. And it's just real simple. You hold on to the center portion and then just roll. So I'm gonna set this in here so it's flat along the bottom, but I'm gonna pull a hunk of it through the edge. There it is. It's not perfect, but it's in there and it's not going anywhere. It's way better than just having a clump of it lying on the ground. So good investment, 10 bucks. I'm moving the corral for the steers. The area they're in, pretty much used up. This area out here is closer to where I'm gonna move them next so they can continue to use this for a couple more iterations. And it's also closer to water and everything else. So I'm just gonna keep moving it. They're out here. I mean, they're with me. They're curious. Change is fun. You know, they're bouncing around, but they're still, they don't like the clanging of the panels. So they're still giving me plenty of space, which is super important. You guys thinking about all this, huh? Too much noise? But you can see the ground is pretty well pooped on and everything else, so we'll get them moved. I'm moving you. Okay, got it cleaned out. Cows are kind of dig just being able to walk through, so they're gonna hang out in this corner for a while. You can see though, when you look at the ground, the middle is fairly unblemished. They walk around the perimeter of the round pen up their little corral. They walk around the perimeter. He's wondering who I'm talking to. But the new one is all set up over here. And that'll give them fresh bedding inside, clean spot to lay. And then when I run a new set of corral or a new set of paddock for them up through there, I can leave this here for now. And this does everything I need it to do. Next step will be to rinse out the stock tank, and then it's good. Oh, I gotta fill it too. You know what? These guys are pretty smart. This is their jam now. Here they are. We got the salt lick, we got the water tank. This must be home. Yeah, this is about it. Pretty much just rain, a little bit of wind. And the rain comes at intervals, so we've got a lot of gaps in there because we're kind of towards the outer bands of it now. It's not bad. Yeah, so go on for the rest of the day, and then that should be it for us. Everybody made it through the night, no problem. They're out. Turkeys are joining us for breakfast. Chickens are out doing their thing. I mean, honestly, it's nothing. I mean, a little bit of deadfall, you know. So I just got to go around and like pick up debris in the yard and clean it up. But no, this is very minor so far. It's gonna keep going for another, what, 8 or 9 hours, but yeah, we dodged a bullet. Well, you know, the hurricane came and went. We were fortunate to be on the outside of the bands. You know, it really wasn't a factor for us. We had rain and light to medium winds, but that's about it. You know, the place looks great. Everything is well. We had, you know, a bunch of debris come out of the trees, you know, branches and whatnot. And that was about the extent of it. So the cleanup was very simple. I started this morning with moving the hen's pen to get it right up against the steer pen so that they get a chance. You can see them out there. They're working on all the leftover manure and everything else out there where I've sprinkled it. So they'll spread that around. And then I think tomorrow I'll push the steers further up into that southeast pasture and then move the hens over to start really cleaning up, because the steers have been there for a few days, and that area where their corral was before is pretty messy because it was there for a long time. So we'll get the hens in there to spread all that around. Meanwhile, there's not a lot to do other than get back to working on the fence. So I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing that today. Yep, plenty of activity around the hive, so it looks like they did okay. So here's what I'm thinking about with the fence. I'm now on the stretch that goes forever and a day that way out into the western property border, property line. So I've got this is one end. The other end was a corner of T-posts. When I want to apply some tension to the fence, I've got to have something to pull against, whether it's the tractor or whether it's a tree or another post or something, so that I can draw some tension. At the far end, there's nothing out there that I can do that with, and I'm not going to drive the tractor out there. So I think what I got to do is I got to pick this up. I'm going to put it in the mule, and I'm going to drive it as far out as I can, and then hoof it the rest of the way. And I'm going to start at that end, tie it off, and work back this way, so that at the end, I can be here and use the tractor, I think, to pull all of this, or maybe even just another fence post somewhere. But I think that's going to be the best way to do it. So I'm going to have to back here and then unroll fencing this way and build towards this post. I also hope that this is long enough that I can unroll at least out of the soft ground, so that when I bring the follow-on pieces, I can use the tractor to do that and get really close. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt. Well, I cleared all of this out some more, pushed back some of the trees on the side, and I was able to back in almost all the way to the corner. So this is pretty good effort, I'd say. I'll clean up some of this stuff again. The only challenge is going to be right here with this tree. I gotta sort of wrap around that. All right, well, that's pretty sweet. Took a lot longer than I thought it was because of clearing out the brush and getting the mule back in there and getting it tied off to the T-post. But it unrolled all the way out to here, which is out of the wetland. Big sweaty now, but I'm gonna take a break, get some water. I got some errands to do this afternoon. Hopefully I'll get back to this evening when it cools off a little bit. I thought the hurricane would break it, make it cooler, but it's still hot, man. Florida. So, yeah, we'll get back to it. But I'm really pleased that it came this far, because I mean I can use a tractor to get the next heavier rolls out here.
So today we are accomplishing another bucket list item for Isle Air Farms. We are finally at the point where we are producing enough eggs that we can support our local ministries with food donation. So Dot and I are on our way today to the food pantry that our church runs and dropping off enough eggs to help with the Benevolent Center, where they pass out food to the community, and also to serve food for their local in-center care. They have a couple of centers that deal with homelessness and recovery, and are just supporting people that are needing a place to land while they get their life back together. So we are taking a box full of eggs over to share with others, and it's a pretty exciting day for us.
I don't know if you can really see me, but time has flown by and gotten away from me this afternoon and this evening, so it's really just dark. The sun's dipping down over there for its last light. I am changing up the space for the steers to give them access to the southeast. I decided I'm actually going to shrink it down a little bit, so I'm going to run a line across, and I brought the line over there in closer to their pen. And boy, that's it. It's just it's been all about steers and hens this week, and a little bit of fence work this week, last few days, and a hurricane, which we survived just fine. So I'm happy to report. Prayers for all the people up in the Panhandle who got hammered by that. It's never a happy thing to be in it, and while you're relieved when you're not, hey, you know how somebody else is hurting at the time. So if you wouldn't mind, just say a few words for them. But I think I'm just going to keep working on this until I run out of light or finish a job. So that's about it from here. Talk to you guys later.